Hi, I'm Greg Denny. I have the privilege and the honor of being a high-performance trainer, of helping good people reach their full potential, to supercharge their lives. And I feel so blessed because I really do live a fantastic life. My wife and I, we have 6 children, and I'm recording this video from the beautiful shores of Costa Rica, and we just live an exciting, adventurous, free, and fulfilling life. But some of you know my story. I grew up in a broken home. I was out on my own at an early age, and I really struggled with insecurity and a lack of confidence, and I was extremely shy and timid and reclusive. And a lot of it started as a kid. There was a lot of turmoil at home, and then I grew up and I was the butt of everyone's jokes, and they made fun of me because of whatever different reasons. Red hair, or the big head, or I have big old toes, or whatever it was that people would make fun of me. And so I became really reclusive, and I became very shy and timid, and lacked that confidence. And it went with me into my teenage years, and I ended up out on my own at an early age, and I just was reclusive. I had a very hard time talking to people. The idea of getting in front of a camera like this, or in front of a microphone, terrified me. Public speaking was that top fear. I didn't want to be in front of anyone. I had a very hard time looking at people, especially girls, and I grew up my hair long, and I just kind of hid away from the world. But I guess intuitively I knew I didn't want to live like that. I wanted to, and I guess I wouldn't even have verbalized that back then, but I just knew I didn't want to live that way. It wasn't the way I wanted to live. I knew I wanted change, and through a series of experiences and people who reached out to help me and kind of be my mentors and lead me along, I started to get out of that, and especially started to realize I needed to get out of that. I needed to become more confident. So people often ask me, Greg, how did you transform? How did you move from being shy and timid little boy to being able to speak in front of large audiences? And there's a transformation there. There's a change, and it can often be extremely uncomfortable. I would turn bright red when, even in a small group, when people ask me a question, just point out any attention to any embarrassing moment. If I trip or stumble, or I remember there was a big crowd one day. I was at the university, I tripped up the steps, and I just thought, oh man, that's too much. And any experience like that, there are girls around, or any time you're, even to call, in a classroom, hey, what do you think? And you get terrified, and you clam up, and your heart starts pounding, you can't breathe, and you're just like, you want to crawl in a hole and stay there till everyone goes away. But there is a way to get out of it. There's a way to grow out of it. I've done it, and I love speaking, I love teaching, I meet people constantly. Every day I try to meet new people, I try to talk to new people. And I can go up to a perfect stranger in any country, old, young, rich, poor, and strike up a conversation. And we can increase our circle of influence, so we can be leaders. We can be leaders at home, we can be leaders abroad, and we can do better work and make better contributions. We can be better in communities, neighborhoods, in society, and in the world. And we want to be confident and competent. So how do we do it? How do you overcome timidity? Well, when I was young, when I was really struggling with it, there was a guy I met, and he said, Greg, you got to be able to look people in the eye. And he's like, look up, and I'd look at him and then look away. He's like, no, come on, look me in the eye. And I'm like, okay. It was so awkward just to look at him. And he's like, just look me in the eye. I'm like, I can't, I gotta look away, I gotta look down. And he's like, no, you gotta learn to look people in the eye. And then there was other experience where people said, hey, you gotta be able to communicate. You gotta be able to walk up and talk. You gotta be able to go meet someone you don't know. You gotta be able to, maybe you're in, everything is sales, right? You sell everything, and then not in a bad way, in a great way. It's your presentation. Every teacher sells what they're trying to teach. Every parent tries to sell their ideas for family culture. We all have to communicate our message and share who we are with the world. So what I did, and what I challenge you to do, is start putting yourselves into situations that force you to stretch your comfort zone. that make you uncomfortable, because in growth, there has to be discomfort, right? When you're growing a muscle, you gotta strain it and you gotta work it hard and stress it so that it grows. So the perfect combination for growth is stress recovery, stress recovery. So as far as overcoming timidity and shyness, put yourself into situations where it forces you to get uncomfortable, but to talk to people. And so maybe it's as simple as, starting out, maybe it's simple as, okay, I'm gonna smile at everyone that I make eye contact with. That's one of the first things I did. I met a great guy, and he was so outgoing and smiling, and he would just, anyone he made eye contact with, hey, how you doing, hey? And he was just the friendliest guy, and a great role model for me. And I said, Scott, how do you do that? Help me. And he said, well, I just made a goal to be who I am. He said, I wanted to greet and smile at everyone I made eye contact with. And I said, hey, that's great. I'm going to start doing that. And it was really uncomfortable, and I was even afraid to smile at a stranger. As easy as that may sound, for some of us, it's really hard. For me, it was terrifying. But I started doing that. I started just smiling, just kind of waving. And then I got, hey, how you doing? And some people would be like, well, I don't know you, or whatever. You're weird. And others would be like, hey, I'm doing great, thanks. And I started with cashiers, right? This is perfect. You go up to a store. We're always going to stores all the time, convenience stores, grocery stores. I say, I'm going to start greeting cashiers, because so often they are just working so hard, and they're just grabbing your stuff, zipping it through, and I'd say, hey, how are you doing today? I mean, thanks for working hard. Or if it was, thanks for staying late. And, oh man, you're just buzzing so much stuff. These big lines here, all these people, thanks so much. And they would just brighten up. And it started being so rewarding for me to get out of my comfort zone. And so life really begins at the edge of your comfort zone. So push those limits. Go out and meet strangers. Strike up a conversation with someone you don't know. Go to a place that maybe is intimidating to you. Maybe there's a lot of people, a busy restaurant or a busy park, and go there and talk to people. Make a phone call you need to make that's intimidating. Get on some kind of webinar. Get in a class where you're participating. Take a public speaking class. Learn a new language. Oh, that's a big one. That's one of the things I did that really helped me. I went to learn Spanish, and I went to Peru. And so you could do something like that, even to that extreme level. You could just say, hey, I'm going to go to a new country. I'm going to go to a new place. Go somewhere you've never been. Just start meeting people, and you leave behind everything that, all the labels or whatever. Maybe in your hometown they're like, oh, there's the shy guy, you're like this, you're like that, this girl's this way. You can go somewhere new and just, you start fresh, and nobody knows you're shy or timid, so roll in there bold and confident. And there's what it's called the as if principle. You begin to act as if, and isn't phony or fake, you're not putting a show, but if you want to be a confident, competent person, you begin acting as if. You begin acting confidently, and then confidence comes. Very often shyness or timidity is right here. In our minds we're just like, I can't do this, and nobody's expecting one thing or the other. You can walk up with a good posture. Right? The way we carry ourselves affects the way we feel. So have a good posture, like you have a string pulling from your chest. A good posture. You don't have to be cocky or arrogant. Some people try to overcompensate for being shy, but just come in, be confident, walk into a room full of people, and just say, hey, how you doing? Start greeting people, and be open, be friendly, be approachable. And you'll see this amazing change start to happen inside you and around you. People will start to treat you differently. So put yourself into those uncomfortable positions and situations which will force you to grow. I'm reading right now the biography of Louis L'Amour, of The Education of a Wandering Man. It's fantastic. He was terrified of speaking, but he forced himself to get a speaking engagement. So he started, reaching out, hey, can I speak? Can I speak? And I tell some of my adventures, my stories, and he'd done some pretty cool stuff and read some great books. And so he got his first speaking appointment, and he was sick. He literally was sick. And he didn't want to go. He's trying to get out of it every way. He called the lady that was coming to get him. No, I can't. She's like, I'm already on my way. On the way, he's like, he even thought about jumping out of the car, but they were going too fast. He couldn't do it. Finally got there, reached in his pocket for his notes, and he didn't have his notes. And so he's just like, oh, he was terrified. And the people were kind of laughing at him. The crowd was like, oh, you're not even prepared. And he said, it was one of the hardest experiences of my life, but he said, it was one of the most critical and most important parts of my education. I was forced to stand in front of that group and deliver a message. They fully expected me to speak to them, and I did. He says, in the end, I had done it, and they seemed pleased with what I had said. He says, that was it. And he says, that changed me, and I started speaking more frequently. And then he says, I learned to love to speak, and I was speaking frequently. And then he shared the stage with former presidents and great leaders and speakers. And he became just a dynamic speaker and a great author and an incredible life. But he had to force himself to do that. One more last tip. Become very competent at what it is you're passionate about, what it is you want to learn. If you know your stuff, about some subject or something that you love to do, then that competence gives you confidence. And maybe you can strike up a conversation about, whatever it is you really love, and find people that are passionate about that, and then you can talk about it, and it helps you become more comfortable and more confident. So my challenge to you is to challenge yourself. We all want to be more confident. There's just no need to go around beating ourselves up and saying negative things to ourselves. Oh, I'm not good enough, or nobody likes me. I'll never do that. I can't. Don't let that negative voice talk to you. Use your confident voice. I can do this. I'm strong. I'm confident. I can go out. I can meet these people. I can make new friends. And challenge yourself in your mind to control and direct those thoughts. Get out in uncomfortable situations. Strive to become competent, learning and growing and improving, and confident. Put on a smile, go out today, start doing things that make you uncomfortable. And for some of you, this goes at all levels. For some of you, you may need to go out and do a little song and dance on the street corner to really challenge yourself to stretch and grow and test your comfort levels. But I promise, when we get out behind that wall that I was hiding behind for all those years, life is so much more exciting, more fulfilling. So go out today, be more confident, smile, greet people, meet new people, and life will become so much more fulfilling and exciting. Reach upward. And one more thing, share this video with people who are timid and shy, or who aren't but want to be more confident. And visit me at gregdenning.com if you're not watching this video on my page. Put in your name and email. I can send you more trainings and inspiration and motivation to take your life to the next level, to reach your full potential, to break down any barriers or any obstacles that are keeping us from our growth, and to really go after it. Have a fantastic day.